And last week, Apple announced that Jony Ive is leaving the company to form his own design firm called Love From. But the company's first client is going to be Apple, so nothing is changing here. He will continue to design Apple products through this new firm that he's starting, but it looks like you might start seeing some of Jony Ive's design work make its way into other consumer products. That could be good or bad. Vice magazine here says it's going to be bad and that history will not be kind to Jony Ive. They accuse him of making products that are not upgradable and very difficult to repair. And I would agree with that to a degree, but I think actually the fault goes way back to Steve Jobs, who never liked anything upgradable. And one of the interesting things about Apple is that there was a time in which they were making things that were infinitely upgradable. So check out my Apple IIe. This is my childhood Apple IIe that my father bought for his business back in like 1983 or so, or 82. We paid a fortune for this thing, about $5,000 for all the things that we got with it. But check it out. There were 7 expansion slots in this thing, and you didn't have to use any screws to get the cover off. You just pulled it off, and you were in. And there was a lot of documentation for the hardware and the software, and it was just something that Steve Wozniak, who designed the original Apple computer, thought a computer should be open and accessible and upgradable. And then when Steve Jobs started designing Macs and moving the company into the modern era, he basically stripped all of that upgradability and built the appliances like we have behind me there. Interestingly enough, the Apple IIgs back there was just as expandable as the Apple IIe was. But once the Apple II line was taken out of commission, the upgradability on the consumer side, at least, definitely started to taper off. And when Jobs came back to the company, everything went to the direction that it did. However, one could argue that it's made the company very, very profitable, more so than any other PC maker, and to some degree more so than other phone makers too. So although it is not good for the consumers or the environment, it certainly made them a lot of money, and I think Apple will be keeping that exclusivity deal with Jony Ive for as long as they can too, because he's been a big part of that growth.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the 4 Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Brian Parker, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.